Good afternoon. D block elements. So let's begin. Next. Okay. So here are the D block elements from the atomic number 21 to 112. Next. Introduction. The elements lying in the middle of periodic table belonging to group 3 to 12 are known as transitional elements or D block elements. Their properties are transitional between the least electropositive S block elements to high electropositive P block elements. These elements, either in their atomic state or in any of their common oxidation state, have partially filled n-1d orbitals of n-1th main shell. Zinc, cadmium, mercury are not regarded as transitional metals due to completely filled d orbitals. Next. Classification of transitional series. These series are classified into 4 types. First transition series, which is 3D series from atomic number 21 to 30. Second transition series, which is 4D series from atomic number 39 to 48. Third transition series, which is 5D series from atomic number 57, 72 to 80. And fourth transition series, which is 6D series from atomic number 89, 104 to 112. Next. The general electronic configuration of these transitional series are n-1, D 1 to 10, NS 1 to 2. These are the electronic configuration of the 4 series. Next. Next. General characteristics, physical properties. First, metallic character. All the D block elements are metals as the number of electrons in the outermost shell are 1 or 2. They are hard, malleable and ductile except mercury because mercury is in liquid state. IV group elements such as Cu, Ag and Au are most ductile and soft. These are also called coinage metals. These are good conductor of heat and electricity due to free electron. Elements of IB group are most conductive in nature. Their order of conductivity is Ag greater than Au, greater than Cu, greater than Au. Covalent and metallic bonding both exist in the atom of transition metals. The presence of unfilled of d subshell favor covalent bonding, and metallic bonding is due to possession of 1 or 2 electron in outermost energy shell. Next. Atomic radii. Atomic radii depends on effective nuclear charge and screening effect. The atomic radii decreases from strontium to chromium because the effective nuclear charge increases. The atomic size of iron, cobalt, nickel is almost same because the attraction due to increase in nuclear charge is cancelled by the repulsion because of increase in shielding effect. Copper and zinc have bigger size because the shielding effect increases and electron-electron repulsion increases. In dipositive ions of 3D series, Cu2 plus is the smallest in size. Lanthanoid contraction. The steady increase in the atomic and ionic radii of the transition metals as the atomic number increases. This is because of filling of 4f orbitals before the 5d orbitals. This contraction in size is quite regular. This is called lanthanoid contraction. It is because of lanthanoid contraction that the atomic radii of the second row of transitional elements are almost similar to those of the third row of transition elements, as we can see in the figure. Next. So I would like to invite Meenal for further PPT explanation.
Thank you, Vinny. Now we are going to deal with the next physical property of D block element, that is ionization enthalpy. In a particular transitional series, there is an increase in ionization enthalpy from left to right, which is due to the increase in effective nuclear charge along a series, but the trend is not very regular. The exceptions are chromium and copper, which have notably larger ionization enthalpy than their neighbors. These exceptions are due to the extra stability associated with the half-fill and full-fill set of d orbitals. The next is oxidation state. The transitional metals show variable oxygen state due to two incomplete outermost shell. Only stable oxidation state of the first row transitional metal are scandium +3, titanium +4, vanadium +5, chromium +3 and +6, manganese +2 and +7, iron +2 and +3, cobalt +2 and +3, nickel +2, copper +2 and zinc +2. The transition element in their lower oxidation state, that is +2 and +3, usually form ionic compound. In higher oxidation state, compound are normally covalent. Nickel and iron in nickel carbonyl and iron pentacarbonyl show zero oxidation state. Here, in the middle series, there are greatest number of oxidation states shown by manganese. The next is standard electrode potential. Uh, Actually, electrode potential is governed by three factors: enthalpy of sublimation, enthalpy of ionization, and enthalpy of hydration. The irregular trend in 3D series is due to the irregular variation in ionization enthalpy and heat of sublimation. Except copper, all 3D elements are good reducing agents. Next is standard electrode potential in M3 plus and M2 plus. The low value of scandium reflect Sc3 plus, which has a noble gas configuration. The highest value of zinc is due to the removal of electron from D10 configuration of Zn2 plus. The comparatively high value of manganese show that Mn2 plus D5 is particularly stable, where comparatively low value of iron show the extra stability of Fe3 plus D5. The comparatively low value of vanadium is related to stability of vanadium 2 plus, as you can see in the diagram. Now I would like to call upon Surbhi for further PPT discussion.
Thank you, Meenal, for calling me. Next slide. Now, liquidity and E0 value. Transition metals vary very widely in chemical reactions, many of them sufficiently electropositive to dissolve in mineral acids, although a few are noble, that is, they are not affected by simple acids. Some results in chemical reactivity of transition metals are related to their E0 value. Some of them are next. The metals of the first series, with the exception of copper, are good reducing agents. These metals with oxidizing agents like hydrogen ion is sometimes slow. For example, titanium, vanadium in practice are passive to dilute non-oxidizing acids at room temperature. It is very interesting to note that E0 value for manganese, nickel and zinc are more electronegative than the normal trend, whereas the stability of half-filled p shell in manganese 2 plus completely filled D subshell D10 in zinc are related to their EE value. For nickel, E0 value is related to the highest negative enthalpy of hydration. Next, an examination of E0 value for the redox reaction M3 plus M2 plus shows that manganese 3 plus and cobalt 3 plus ion are the strongest oxidizing agent in aqueous solution. The ion T2 plus, B2 plus and Cr2 plus are strong reducing agents will liberate hydrogen from dilute acid as shown in the reaction. Next, magnetic properties. When a magnet is applied to a substance, mainly two types of magnetic behavior are observed: diamagnetism and paramagnetism. Diamagnetic substances are repelled by applied field, while paramagnetic substances are attracted. Substances which are attracted very strongly are said to be ferromagnetic. In fact, paramagnetism is an extreme form of paramagnetism. Many of the transition metal ions are paramagnetic. Next, paramagnetism arises from the presence of unpaired electrons. Each such electrons have magnetic moment associated with its spin angular momentum and orbital angular momentum. For the compounds of first series of transition metals, the contribution of orbital angular momentum is effectively quenched and hence is of no significance. For these, the magnetic moment is determined by the number of unpaired electrons and is calculated by using spin-only formula, that is, mu is equal to n plus 2, where n is the number of unpaired electrons and mu is the magnetic moment in unit of Bohr magneton. A single unpaired electron has magnetic moment of 1.7 Bohr magneton. Next. The magnetic moment increases with increasing of number of unpaired electrons. Thus, the observed magnetic moment gives us a useful indication about the number of unpaired electrons present in an atom, molecule, or ion. The magnetic moment calculated from spin-only formula and those derived experimentally from some ions of first two transition elements. The experimental data are mainly for hydrated ions in solution or in solid state. Next. This is the table indicating calculated and observed magnetic moment. Next, formation of colored ions. When an electron from a lower energy d orbital is excited to a higher energy d orbital, the excitation of the energy of excitation corresponds to the frequency of light absorbed. The frequency generally lies in the visible region. The color observed corresponds to the complementary color of light absorbed. The frequency of light is absorbed determined by the nature of the ligand. In aqueous solution where water molecules are the ligands, the color of the ion observed are listed in the table. Next, formation of complex compounds. Formation of complex compounds are those in which the metals ion bind number of anion or neutral molecules giving complex species with characteristic properties. A few examples are listed. The transition metals are a large number of complex compounds. This is due to the comparatively smaller size of metal ions, their high ionic charges, and the availability of d orbital for bond formation. Next, catalytic properties. The transition metal and their compounds are known for their catalytic activity. This activity is ascribed to their ability to adopt multiple oxidation states and to form complexes. Vanadium oxide in contact process, finely divided iron in Haber's process, and nickel in catalytic hydrogenation are some of the examples. Catalysts at a solid surface involve the formation of bond between reacting molecules and the atoms of the surface of the catalyst. This has the effect of increasing the concentration of the reactant at the catalytic surface and also weakening in the bond in the reacting molecule. Also, because the transition metal ion can change their oxidation state, they become more effective as catalysts. For example, iron catalyzes the reaction between iodide and uh, persulate ion. In the given reaction, we can see explanation of the catalytic action can be given as the following reaction. Next, formation of interstitial compounds. Interstitial compounds are those which are formed when a small atom like hydrogen, carbon, or nitrogen are trapped inside the crystal lattice of metal. They are usually non-cytometric and neither typically ionic nor covalent. For example, PiC, N4N, FeH, BH0.56, and Ti1.7, etc. These formula quoted do not, of course, correspond with any normal oxidation states of metal. Because of the nature of their composition, these compounds are referred to as interstitial compounds. Next. The principal physical and chemical characteristics of the compounds are as follows. They have high melting point, higher than those of pure metals. Second, they are very hard. Some of the borides approach diamond in hardness. Third, they retain metallic conductivity. Fourth, they are chemically inert. Next, alloy formation. An alloy is a blend of metals prepared by mixing the components. Alloy may be homogeneous solid solution in which the atoms of one metal are distributed randomly among the atoms of the other. Because of the similar radii and other characteristics of the transition metal, alloys are readily formed by these metals. The alloys so formed are hard and often have high melting points. They are the best known ferrous alloys are formed by chromium, vanadium, tungsten, molybdenum, and manganese, are used for the production of a variety of steels and stainless steels. Alloy of transition metals with non-transition metals as brass and bronze are considered are of also considerable economic importance. Now, I would like to invite Aisha for the further PPT explanation. Thanks.
Mineral preparation of K2Cr2O4, potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate is an important chemical and for the preparation of many other compounds. Dichromate are usually prepared from white ore with sodium and potassium carbonate in the presence of air. So, reaction can be given as plus O2 gives Na2CrO4 plus Fe chromate is further purified from which the crystal of orange color sodium dichromate can be extracted. Sodium chromate react with acid and form sodium dichromate plus Na plus water. And sodium dichromate can be obtained by reacting a solution of sodium dichromate with potassium chloride. When sodium dichromate react with potassium chloride gives potassium dichromate plus sodium chloride. We can finally obtain the orange crystal of potassium dichromate. Next, the chromate and dichromate are inconvertible in aqueous solution depending upon pH of the solution. The oxidation state of chromium in chromate and dichromate is the same. So, when we react chromate with acid, it forms dichromate, and when we react dichromate with base, it forms chromate. The structure of chromate ion and dichromate ion are shown below. The chromate ion is tetrahedral, whereas the dichromate ion consists of two tetrahedral sharing one corner with Cr with bond angle of 126 degree. Sodium and potassium dichromate are strong oxidizing reagent. The sodium salt has a great solubility in water and is extensively used as oxidizing agent in organic chemistry. Potassium dichromate is used as a primary standard in volumetric analysis. We also use potassium dichromate in chloride fluoride test. Next. In acidic solution, the oxidizing action can be represented as, you can see the reaction. This reaction acidified potassium dichromate will oxidize iodide to iodine, sulfide to sulfur, SN2 to SN4, and Fe2 to salt to Fe3. The half reaction are noted below. You can see the reactions. The full ionic equation may be obtained by adding the half reaction for potassium dichromate to the half reaction for the reducing agent. Next. Structure of potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate is an ionic compound consisting of two potassium cation and one dichromate anion. The coordination geometry around the chromium atoms are tetrahedral. The structure of the potassium dichromate molecule is illustrated below. It can be noted that in potassium dichromate molecule, potassium exhibits an oxidation state of +1, oxygen exhibits an oxidation state of -2, and chromium exhibits an oxidation state of +1. It can be noted that crystal of potassium dichromate have a trichel structure. Now I would like to call Akshita for further explanation.
Next, potassium permanganate KMnO4 preparation. KMnO4 is prepared by fusion of MnO2 with an alkali metal hydroxide and oxidizing agent like KNO3. This produces the dark green K2MnO4 with this disproportionate in a neutral or acidic solution to give permanganate. 2MnO2 plus 4KOH plus O2 gives 2K2MnO4 plus 2H2O. 3MnO4 minus 2 plus 4H plus gives 2MnO4 minus plus MnO2 plus 2H2O. Commercial preparation. Commercially, it is prepared by alkaline oxidative fusion of MnO2 followed by the electrolytic oxidation of manganese. The reaction is given below. Next. Properties. KMnO4 acts as strong oxidizing agent. First, in the presence of dilute H2SO4, KMnO4 is reduced to manganese salt. MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5 electron gives Mn2 plus 4H2O. Acidic KMnO4 solution oxidizes, oxalates to CO2 iron to iron second to iron 3, nitrites and nitrates and iodides to iodine. The half reaction of reductions are followed. To acidify KMnO4, only H2SO4 is used and not HCl or HNO3 because HCl reacts with KMnO4 and produces Cl2, while HNO3 itself acts as oxidizing agent. Next. In alkaline medium, KMnO4 is reduced to insoluble MnO2. A notable reaction is the oxidation in alkaline medium to insoluble MnO2. A notable reaction is the oxidation of iodide to iodide. 2MnO4 minus plus H2O plus I minus gives 2MnO2 plus 2OH minus plus IO3 minus. Second, the disulfates is oxidized almost quantitatively to sulfate. Third, manganese salt is oxidized to MnO2 in the presence of zinc sulfate or zinc oxide, catalyze the oxidation. Next. Uses. KMnO4 is used in laboratory preparation of Cl2 as an oxidizing agent and disinfectant in making Bayer's reagent. Structure is given below. Next. Thank you.